I want to talk about gossip. We've all done it. We've all heard it. We've all shared things that we wish we wouldn't have shared about somebody else. And we know that we hear it constantly, whether it's with a family member, whether it's with a spouse or partner, or especially at work. Any type of way that you get people or groups of people together, it's going to happen. And there's usually 1, 2, 3 instigators, and you all know who that is. And you know you can't share information with them, or you do share information with them to make sure that it goes around, gets around, and can cause, havoc, harm, or maybe for you, for the good, whatever you use it for. You know that there's this power there that I believe is toxic. And here's why I'm going to get into that today, because I think it's really, really important, especially as leaders. Now, I want you to understand, whenever I talk about leadership, it's about your relationships, whether they be personal, whether it's friends and family, whatever it may be. Whenever we talk about leadership, it is how you lead others. The others is just not your business and work. And I don't understand that. Why a lot of leadership books kind of just focus on business and success, but leadership is how you interact with people in general. That's what it is. So whenever I talk about leadership, I don't want you tuning this out and saying, I'm not a leader. This is for your spouse. This is for whoever you interact with in your daily life. If you have a friend, you can be a leader in that relationship. And that's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. So let's talk about gossip. Number one, we all have this feeling, this narcissistic feeling, because I always talk about narcissism, this narcissistic feeling that people are talking about us. Maybe we get to the point to where we feel like we have to protect ourselves and we can't fully open up because other people will share things to other people and it'll go from there. And it could ruin us, destroy us, whatever it may be, hurt our feelings. So we walk around in this protective, scared, fearful mode, and we know about the fight or flight. We know about the fear. We know what that creates. You cannot have creativity. You cannot have love. The Bible's really clear on this. I love this. The opposite of fear is love. The opposite of love is fear. Just think of it that way. If you're being fearful with something, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's about somebody saying something to you, whatever type of fear you're experiencing, and fear is false evidence appearing real. It is the ego hijacking your emotions and saying, this is something that you need to be afraid of. If you weren't fearful and you were just logical, you would probably handle the situation a lot better and be able to, even in a survival mode. If you weren't so fearful where you end up freezing, or, a lot of people do that. They just give up and die in a super stressful situation, whether it may be like a natural disaster or something like that, a car accident, something horrific. So if you were just logical, you may be able to get out of the situation. Maybe you're fucked and you can't, but you may be able to get out of it just by being logical. So you got to understand the ego is hijacking your emotions, getting you highly emotional, which that state is not good for you at all, ever. Being highly emotional, like Buddhism is really good about this, is, having this peaceful, in the medium. Let's stay from 1 to 10, let's stay at a 5, and let's be peaceful and let's be in the moment. Let's not get down to the 1 where we want to commit suicide, into the 10 where we're crying happy all the time. We don't want that. And a lot of people fluctuate from there back and forth. You may be at a 3 and then you're at a 6, So being at that 5, that 4.5 to 5.5, that the shorter you can get that and be more peaceful in the present moment, the better off you're going to be. So we know we need to be logical, especially if we hear someone is talking about us. If you heard from somebody else, that somebody's talking about you, the odds are it is not true. We've all done the game when we were kids, and you guys know what I'm going to say about this. where you share one thing, and it could be as small as one sentence. And by the time it goes to 10 people, the sentence is totally different. And if you haven't done that, you should do that. It's a great exercise with your employees. Have your employees do it. Give like 2 sentences and watch what happens by the end. Because this is what you're going to see what gossip turns into. It's not real. It's fake. What is being told to you about somebody else, the story is probably, there may be a little bit of truth in there, but a lot of it is probably fabricated, and it's 10 times worse than what it actually is. So when you're a leader and you hear gossip, and I'm saying this, when you're a person and you hear gossip from somebody else, you have to understand, number one, it's not real. Number 2, it's fabricated. Number 3, and this is a big one, guys, the person that's coming to you telling you this is telling you for their own dopamine hit, not to protect you, they have to tell somebody. They get excited about them. It gives them the latest drama. So the person that's telling you this is not a highly evolved, super conscious being. So you need to understand. So there is nothing good about saying gossip, listening to gossip, surrounding yourself with any of that drama. I don't even want to hear it. That's that other person. Does it affect me? Oh, if it affects me, now I have to do something. If it doesn't affect me, I don't want to hear it. I don't care what it is. I do not want to hear it. And I'll tell people that. Nah, I'm really not interested in listening to that. It sounds like gossip. I'm not interested in that. Just tell people that. And then they'll stop talking to you about it. They'll go tell other people. I like living in that bubble of not having toxic drama in my life because it allows me to be a better version of myself. And I'm not allowing that in my thought process. I don't even want to think about a bad thing of another person. I have noticed whoever's cheating on whoever's doing bad to who or what or how, I do not care at all. And if you care about things like that over time, you need to slowly tell yourself that this is not real. This is a dopamine hit. The person's getting a dopamine hit telling you it. And this is just evolutionary psychology. This has happened a long time ago when there were tribes. Early, when we could be able to communicate, we communicated gossip. That's how it was. It's always been that way. It's ingrained in us. And once you recognize that, you can be like, this is just the old ego, evolutionary psychology me, my monkey brain. This is not anything I want as an evolved conscious being. And that's what I tell myself. I don't want to hear Hollywood gossip or any of that. Like I said, it's just slot machine garbage. It's super cheap. It's information I do not need in my head. So if it's talked about you and you find out, you have to have enough balls. I'm saying that in like a generic way. Don't get pissed off at me because I said that. That you go talk to the person. You need to confront it as soon as possible. But you can't do it emotionally. So however long it takes you to calm the fuck down, to relax, to get that logical part of you where you take deep breaths, you relax, and not get pissed off, because getting pissed off and defensive is not a leader. That's not going to work. Here's how you do it, and here's how you approach it. You say, hey, Cindy, do you have a second where I can talk with you? We can just go outside if that's fine. Cindy, I heard, and this is probably gothic, and it's probably not true, but I heard a couple people mention my name in this, and this. So I'm going around and I'm going to share with everyone the truth of what is going on. Not that I need to do anything. I could just let it lie, but I do not like people talking about me, especially when it's not truth. And address it. Be truthful. Address it. If it's something that can harm your work or harm you, then you need to assess that logically. Maybe take some time to think about that. Maybe you need to go to your boss and own up and be truthful with him about, yeah, this rumor's going around, but it's way worse than what actually happened. What actually happened was this, this, and this. Maybe you need to have that conversation with your boss. He's going to appreciate that you're honest. But if you come to and be like, Cindy, I can't believe you're fucking running your mouth and da-da-da-da, I'm going to fight you. You can't do that. That's not going to work at all, ever. You may get your kicks out by being able to punch someone, but you're gone. That's an extreme, I know. But I see people, they may not punch someone, but they'll yell and scream at somebody. And all that's going to do is give you a reputation for not being able, one, to be trusted, and two, that you don't have your emotions in check. And especially as a leader, you do not want to be seen that way. If you feel like you need to yell at somebody, you need to, and I used to do this when I would get super angry. Rarely, but I would get super angry. I would go for a walk and talk to myself. And I would walk as far as I need to walk until I calm down. Sometimes it would take 10 minutes. Sometimes it would take 30 minutes. I would get up off my desk and go for a walk outside. And I would walk and talk to myself and get away from it and talk yourself down and then have the conversation. If you're a leader and followers and people that you're in charge of are talking about you, you need to get a team meeting together, get them all in the room and have a conversation with them and let them know the truth. Say, I know you heard this, this, and this, but here's the truth. I do not like gossip. You guys know, and this is by you not listening to it. As a leader, you cannot listen to gossip because you can use this. If you're not listening to gossip and you shut people down, when it does happen, you can tell the whole team, I don't put up with this. When each of you has come to me and shared something about each of you, I've told you I don't want to hear it. So you can trust me in what I'm going to say. See how you earn the trust by that? You could take the early dopamine hit, but those early dopamine hits, the cheating on the slot machine, it's just going to get you kicked out of the casino, right? It's the same scenario. You have to think long-term, and this is just ethics, basic ethics, and not allowing yourself to get emotional. So, guys, do not listen to gossip at all. Starve yourself from it. Do whatever you need to do. Talk yourself out of it. Don't allow it. If you need to rehearse a word track, that's what I like to do. Word tracks. Rehearse what you're going to say. Rehearse it over and over and over again until you get comfortable saying it, and then you'll be able to say it sitting there. No, I cannot listen to that, Cindy. This is talking about another person. Don't want to listen to it. I just don't like listening to gossip. I don't like having that toxic, negative stuff in my head. And then walk away. It's that simple. She'll come to you and apologize. Most people, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I hope we're still good. Most people get nervous and worried about it. So you can play that out. Number two, if it's about you, you have to confront it. Confront it right away. Get it done. Nip it in the bud. Especially as a leader, if somebody's talking about you. If it's just other people talking about each other, and it seems to be pretty minor and it's not going to hurt team performance, I just let them handle. They can do what they need to do. I don't need to micromanage their language. I don't need to micromanage that. I don't care. If it becomes harmful to somebody or harmful to you, then you need to address it right the fuck away.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to abqpodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.